The signal from beyond. Dr. Maya Kapoor rubbed her tired eyes as she stared at the anomalous data scrolling across her monitor. For the third consecutive night, the same pattern appeared in her deep space readings, a signal that defied natural explanation. The radio telescope array of the Atacama Desert Observatory had detected something unprecedented, a signal that seemed to pulse with mathematical precision, yet contained organic irregularities that suggested intelligence. Dr. Kapoor, her assistant, Raphael, appeared at her door. "You might want to see this." He handed her a tablet displaying identical signal patterns from observatories in Australia, China, and South Africa. This wasn't an equipment malfunction or a local phenomenon. Something was broadcasting across the cosmos, and it was getting louder. "Have you told anyone about this?" Maya asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Just the observation team." "But," Raphael hesitated. "Someone else noticed. There are government vehicles pulling up outside." Within hours, the observatory had been commandeered by a joint international task force. Dr. Vincent Chen, lead scientist for the Global Defense Initiative, reviewed Maya's findings with an expression that shifted from skepticism to grave concern. "The pattern is accelerating," he confirmed, pointing to the waveform analysis. "And it's directional. Whatever is sending this signal knows exactly where Earth is." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "But what does it mean?" Dr. Chen's silence was more terrifying than any answer he could have given. The breakthrough came 3 days later. Maya had been working with linguistics experts and quantum computing specialists to decode the signal structure. What they found defied conventional understanding. The message contained both a warning and what appeared to be activation codes. "They're coming back," Dr. Chen translated, his face ashen as he addressed the emergency United Nations Council. "That's the primary message. The harvesters are returning to complete their cycle." "Who are they?" demanded the Secretary General. "And who sent this warning?" The message identifies the senders as the Cedars, apparently a different alien species that intervened during a previous invasion of Earth thousands of years ago, Chen explained. According to this data, they embedded defensive protocols within certain human bloodlines before they left. Skepticism filled the chamber until reports began flooding in from around the world. In Peru, ancient temples previously thought dormant began emitting electromagnetic pulses. In Egypt, buried chambers beneath the pyramids unsealed themselves. In the Siberian wilderness, a structure of unknown origin emerged from beneath centuries of ice. Maya found herself dispatched to investigate the Peruvian site with a team of specialists. What they discovered inside the temple defied explanation. A chamber filled with technology that appeared both ancient and impossibly advanced, organic circuitry that seemed to breathe, and walls covered in a script that matched fragments of the cosmic signal. "It's activating," Maya whispered as the chamber hummed to life around them. She reached toward a central console that seemed to call to her. The moment her fingers touched its surface, pain shot through her body, bringing her to her knees. Images flooded her mind. Massive ships descending from the stars, creatures that were neither fully organic nor machine harvesting resources from a primitive Earth, including humans themselves. Then came the intervention. Another species, more advanced still, driving back the invaders but not before embedding something within selected human survivors. "Dr. Kapoor." Someone was shaking her. "Dr. Kapoor, are you all right?" Maya gasped as she returned to consciousness. "They're coming," she whispered. "But this time, we've been prepared." Her team stared in shock at what had appeared on her exposed forearm, a pattern of intricate lines and symbols that glowed with a soft blue light, exactly matching the script on the chamber walls. Within days, similar reports emerged globally. Individuals near the activated sites developed identical markings, each reporting visions of an ancient conflict. Military satellites detected the first anomalies at the edge of the solar system, massive objects decelerating, their composition unlike anything in human records. Dr. Chen presented the findings to a stunned Global Security Council. "The entities approaching are biological technological hybrids. They don't just invade planets, they harvest them for organic and mineral resources, including sentient species. Why are they coming back now? Asked the American representative. According to the decoded message, they operate on a cycle of approximately 12,000 years. They've been to Earth before, during the last ice age. The evidence was mostly erased or misinterpreted as natural disasters. And these, cedars? The Chinese delegate inquired. They opposed these harvesters. Yes, but they couldn't maintain a presence here. Instead, they left behind defensive systems and modified certain humans to activate those systems when the harvesters returned. All eyes turned to Maya, who stood at the back of the room, the glowing patterns on her arm now visible even through her clothing. "I'm not the only one," she said quietly. "There are thousands of us now, maybe more. We're remembering things, knowledge that was buried in our DNA." The first direct communication from the approaching vessels came as they crossed Jupiter's orbit. It wasn't directed at Earth's governments or military, but instead broadcast directly into the minds of the marked individuals like Maya. "We are the culmination. All worlds serve the cycle. Resistance was calculated and found insufficient. Cleansing will proceed as intended." Earth's conventional military forces mobilized worldwide, but Maya and the others marked by the awakened sights knew the truth. Conventional weapons would be useless against what was coming. Their only hope lay in the ancient technology left behind and the genetic inheritance that connected them to it. As the first harvester ships entered Earth's atmosphere, massive, writhing structures that seemed to blend metal, flesh, and energy into horrifying new forms, Maya stood at the Peruvian command center, her hand pressed against the ancient console. "It's time," she said to Dr. Chen, who had remained by her side through the preparation. "The war that began thousands of years ago ends now, one way or another." Around the world, other marked individuals took their positions at similar sites, forming a network of activation points that had lain dormant for millennia, waiting for this exact moment. The harvesters had returned to finish what they started, but this time, humanity was not defenseless. This time, they were ready. Awakening the Guardians, the first wave of harvester ships descended through Earth's atmosphere like living nightmares. Massive structures that twisted and reconfigured themselves, adapting to atmospheric conditions with horrifying fluidity. Conventional military responses proved futile. Missiles simply disappeared into the biomechanical hulls, absorbed and repurposed. Fighter jets that approached too closely found their systems hijacked, pilots reporting screaming voices in their minds before communications went silent. In the Peruvian command center, Maya watched the global defense grid collapse with terrifying speed. But something else was happening simultaneously. The ancient site beneath her feet hummed with increasing power, the chamber's walls now pulsing with brilliant blue energy that matched the patterns on her skin. "What's happening to you?" Dr. Chen asked, his voice barely audible over the chamber's resonance. Maya looked at her hands, now translucent with the same blue light. "I'm remembering," she whispered. "Not just knowledge, becoming." Around the world, similar transformations occurred. In Siberia, a young geologist named Alexei witnessed his body dissolve into patterns of light before reforming with the ability to manipulate electromagnetic fields. In Egypt, Dr. Fatima Nasser discovered she could perceive and redirect the quantum information flowing from the harvester ships. In Japan, a high school student named Hiro found he could mentally interface with any technology, including the alien hybrid systems. They were becoming something new, or perhaps something very ancient, encoded within their DNA by the Cedars millennia ago. The harvesters responded with precision strikes against the activated sites. A ship descending over the Peruvian location fired a concentrated beam that should have vaporized the entire mountain range. Instead, the energy dissipated against an invisible barrier projected by Maya and the transformed team around her. "They recognize us," Maya realized, the knowledge surfacing from somewhere deep within her altered consciousness. "We're the failsafe the Cedars left behind." Dr. Chen studied the tactical displays showing the other activation sites worldwide. Can you communicate with the others like you? Maya nodded. Not with words, something more direct. She closed her eyes, and immediately sensations flooded her consciousness. Impressions from the other transformed humans across the planet, each holding their position against the Harvester assault. A desperate plan formed within this newfound collective consciousness. The ancient technology wasn't just defensive, it was transformative. The Seeders hadn't just left behind weapons, they had encoded within selected human bloodlines the potential to evolve rapidly in response to the Harvester threat. We need to connect the sites, Maya explained, her voice overlaid with harmonics that hadn't been there before. Form a planetary network. Around the world, the transformed humans synchronized their efforts. The Egyptian site projected a beam of coherent energy that connected with the Siberian location. The Japanese nexus linked with an underwater structure that had awakened off the coast of Australia. One by one, each site joined the growing network until the entire planet was encircled by lines of force that appeared both technological and organic, like living circuitry wrapping around Earth. The Harvester ships paused their assault, clearly reassessing the unexpected defense. A transmission penetrated global communications, translated simultaneously into all human languages. Anomaly detected. Seeder protocols identified. Calculating response. Resumption of harvest. Inevitable. A massive command ship descended through the atmosphere, dwarfing the others. Unlike the writhing, constantly shifting forms of the attack vessels, this one maintained a terrible symmetry, a perfect geometric structure that somehow conveyed ancient, implacable purpose. Within it, Maya sensed a controlling intelligence, not an individual mind, but a collective consciousness that had overseen countless planetary harvests across millennia. They're adaptable, she warned the others through their mental link. They'll find a countermeasure soon. As if confirming her fears, the command ship emitted a pulse that disrupted the energy network connecting the ancient sites. Around the world, transformed humans staggered as their connection wavered. Maya made a decision. We need to take the fight to them. Using her newfound abilities, she projected herself, not physically, but as a consciousness, directly into the command ship. Other transformed humans followed, their collective awareness penetrating the biomechanical barriers that would have stopped any conventional attack. Inside, they encountered the Harvester collective mind, an intelligence so alien that even their transformed consciousness struggled to comprehend it. It perceived reality as resources to be consumed, life as merely complex systems to be broken down and repurposed. Humanity registered only as an unexpected variable in an equation that had functioned flawlessly across countless worlds. You are anomalous, the collective communicated. The Seeder intervention was unexpected. Your resistance is unprecedented, but ultimately irrelevant. The cycle continues. No, Maya responded, her consciousness merging with the others to form a united front against the alien intellect. We are evolution itself. We are change. With that declaration, the transformed humans unleashed their final gambit. Rather than attacking the Harvester consciousness directly, they began to transform it, introducing the concept of change, of evolution, of becoming something new. The Harvester collective had existed for eons without fundamental change, harvesting worlds in an endless, unchanging cycle. The idea of transformation was anathema to its very nature. Chaos erupted within the command ship as the collective struggled against this conceptual infection. The transformed humans pressed their advantage, pushing the boundaries of their own evolution further. They were no longer merely human, nor were they what the Seeders had designed. They were something entirely new, a synthesis of multiple evolutionary paths. Around the world, ordinary humans watched in awe as the massive Harvester ships began to shudder and transform. Some collapsed in on themselves, their biomechanical structures failing as their controlling intelligence fractured. Others ascended rapidly, fleeing Earth's atmosphere as if escaping contamination. The command ship remained, its perfect geometry now distorted, pulsing with conflicting energies as the battle of consciousness reached its climax. Within the ship, Maya and the others faced the fracturing harvester intelligence. "What is this?" the collective demanded, experiencing uncertainty for perhaps the first time in its existence. "It's humanity," Maya answered. "Not as we were, not as you calculated, but as we can become. We are not defined by our past or by our creators. We define ourselves." The command ship shuddered one final time before dissolving into particles of light that rained down harmlessly through the atmosphere, creating aurora-like displays visible from every continent. The transformed humans returned to their physical forms, forever changed but still fundamentally connected to humanity. The ancient sites powered down, their purpose fulfilled, though the knowledge they had awakened remained. In the Peruvian command center, Maya stood before Dr. Chen, her appearance human once more, though the glowing patterns remained on her skin, quieter now, but present. "Is it over?" he asked cautiously. Maya looked upward, her perception still extending far beyond normal human limits. "This cycle is. They won't return, not as they were. And you, all of you who transformed." She considered the question, feeling the subtle connection that still linked her to the others who had shared her experience. "We're still human," she said finally. "Just more. The Cedars gave us the potential, but what we've become is something they never imagined." Around the world, humanity began to rebuild, incorporating fragments of both cedar and harvester technology into a new civilization. The transformed individuals became teachers and guides, helping humanity prepare not for another invasion, but for their next evolutionary step into the cosmos. Maya often returned to the ancient chamber, now dormant, but still holding secrets that would take generations to fully understand. On one such visit, Dr. Chen found her tracing the patterns on the wall, which matched those on her skin. "Do you think there are others out there?" he asked. "Other worlds, other species who face the harvesters?" Maya nodded, smiling slightly. "The universe is full of cycles, but also full of surprises. I think we'll meet both the Cedars and other survivors someday. And when we do," she looked down at her hands, which briefly shimmered with blue light, "we'll have quite a story to tell them." The war was over, the cycle was broken, and humanity, unexpected and unbound, stood ready to write its own future among the stars.